Hi, Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope. So let's watch this video together and let me know what you think. Paris, 15-minute cities. So there you go. Paris, planning on becoming a 15-minute city. Listen, these things are, I don't know, I think they're a bit strange, to be honest. But I want to go through another article talking about these 15-minute cities. If you notice there in the video, Melbourne here in Australia is also talking about, I believe theirs is a 20-minute city that they want to create. So I'm going to read through this article, and it comes from a Wentworth report. I think it helps break down a little more what is actually being planned. It's not just as easy. The thought of obviously it's all about climate change. It's all about helping the environment. That's what we're being told. But there's always going to be some people who are going to be exempt. It's going to be the people in charge. This is all brought to you by the wonderful, the absolutely wonderful and holy, forthright, righteous people at the World Economic Forum, obviously, that they are. But yeah, here let's look at this other report here and go through it. This is the Wentworth report I'll bring up. So it says here the 15-minute city is here. The idea is that everything you regularly need will be within 15 minutes, obviously, of where you live, and you will be fined. Yeah, you will be fined for excessive travels beyond your patch. So it's pretty feudal, hey, they say. Yes, what's the bet? The administrators of the system and all the important bureaucrats will be allowed free travel. You guarantee your bottom dollar on that. So the 15-minute city is a UN and WEF, World Economic Forum, the smart people, because they want you to drive less. So in the WEF's own words, this rearrangement of cities is absolutely about climate change. It's permanent climate lockdowns. The 15-minute city is not just, so this is already opened up, already started in Oxford. If you've already seen the videos about that, what's turning up in Oxford, but obviously it's also turning up in Brisbane. It's here in Queensland, the capital of Queensland, Melbourne, down capital of Victoria, Barcelona, Paris, Portland, and Buenos Aires. It's everywhere. So Oxford, England is where the madness of the 15-minute system is first being implemented. The green agenda is taking inspiration from the illiberal days of lockdown. To this end, Oxfordshire County Council, which is run by Labor, the Liberal Democrats and Green Party wants to divide the city of Oxford into 6 15-minute districts. In these districts, it is said most household essentials will be accessible by a quarter of an hour walk or bike ride. Walk or bike ride, that's essential, because they don't want you driving. This is all about control. And so residents will have no need for a car. On the surface, these 15-minute neighborhoods might sound pleasant and convenient, but there is a coercive edge. The council plans to cut car use and traffic congestion by placing strict rules on car journeys. Now, for those of you that don't know, I did several episodes last year talking about the new legislation that was being brought in England, in London, I believe it was, and on the dangers of electric vehicles and how they bring about control. So what's happened in the UK? So all new houses have to implement like a smart system in their home, and obviously you probably all know about that. So everything's connected to the grid, but can be monitored by whatever powers want to monitor their electricity use. And also with you have to bring in car charging implements, so you can charge your brand new electric vehicle, your Tesla, or whatever the heck you got. And because it's being pushed, we're all being forced out of petrol, diesel vehicles, diesel run vehicles. I run a Ford Wildtrak, so it loves this diesel. Anyway, off topic. So the whole issue, all this new legislation that they brought in, is part of it is that if there's too much pressure on the electricity grid, okay, they will be able to stop you from using the they will be able to stop you from charging your vehicle. They can put restrictions on when you can charge your vehicle, and then if there's too much of a load on those times when you're allowed to charge it, they can also stop you charging your vehicle from whatever government entity has decided they are going to do that. They can flick the switch. You can no longer charge the car. So obviously that puts restrictions on how far away you can travel. You'll get up in the morning, go, oh, crap, I've only gotten half an hour's worth of charge in my car. I can only go down to the local store and that's about it. Or I can only just make it to work. Hopefully I can get a couple of minutes charge in there while I'm there, maybe. It's all about control. And this is what the platform of COVID-19, it's been used as a springboard to bring about control, to bring everyone into submission, basically, to what the WEF wants, the 2030 agenda, the Great Reset, because we're all told, they're using these scaremonger tactics that the world's going to end if we don't cut down. It all has to be you and I. Won't be other people, won't be the people in charge. It obviously can't be China, the Chinese government, because even though they're the biggest polluters, they're also a big supporter with the WEF because of their tyrannical government. They love WEF. Klaus Schwab loves the Chinese Communist Party, but it's all about control. I'll just read a bit more of this article here just to explain more what's going on. So it says that residents will have to register their cars with the council, and they will be tracked. To count their journeys through the key gateways. Under the new proposals, if any of Oxford's 150,000 residents drive outside of their designated district more than 100 days a year, he or she could be fined £70. Look, there's more to it. I'll put the links up for this story. You can read that yourselves. But this is where our society is going. As I said before, and this is part of the reason why I was so against the mandates with COVID-19, because everything is just being used to bring the people into submission. Don't be so naive as to think that, and I say this because I had a lot of Christians tell me, because I'm a Christian, I had a lot of other Christians tell me that, the Bible says in Romans about obeying the government, okay? But people take that way out of context and saying, well, Jason, just because they've brought in these mandates, you still need to obey. You still need to obey the government, what they say. However, if the government is not standing for righteousness, you do not obey a government that is not standing for righteousness. Okay, if the government's, if you're living in communist China, and obviously, they are forcing things that are very ungodly over there, and telling Christians that they cannot go to church, or they have to preach from a Bible that's no longer the Bible. You don't have to obey that. That's why people start underground churches. That's why people, quote unquote, break the law in the government's eyes anyway, because they still need to practice their faith, because they still need to stand for righteousness. So just because the government tells you, if the government is not standing for righteousness, that doesn't mean you just go out and blindly follow along. These 15-minute cities, 20-minute cities, whatever we're going to use, are just being used to bring the people into submission. Don't believe the hype. That's my opinion. Please let me know what you think. Tell me. Need to know your opinion. My name is Jay Fallon. Thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope.